Hello, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how you can combine several of the skills and formulas that I showed and how to make a custom chart for one student or one thing that you're wanting to look at analytics for. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and format my cells and create my individual student report. So I'm going to type in individual student report. And then I'm going to highlight both cells and tell it to merge on the toolbar, change the font to white, and change the background to red to match my theme. I'm going to come down here and say select students. Again, I can merge both cells. I'm going to tell the font to be white, and I'm going to tell the background to be black. Over here, I'm going to say name. And then let's go ahead and change the font to Calibri. So let's go to our font toolbar, Arial. And then now I need to create a drop-down list of all the students in the class. So I'm going to right-click, go Data Validation. I'm going to select the range in the sheet from student 1 to student 30 for the list to include those students, and hit OK, and hit Save. So now my students are all in there, and I can go down the drop-down and select any of the student I want to select. Now I'm going to type in test 1 because we're going to do a custom graph here in a second, and I'm going to drag that across to do test 1 through 11. Now we're going to do VLOOKUP, so we're going to do equals VLOOKUP, and we want to go find the student name in this cell, comma, go look in the range from A3 all the way to N32, and then comma, we want to look in 1, 2, 3 in column 3, and false to give us exactly what we're looking for, parentheses, and hit enter. So the student has 100, and there it is exactly how we want it. Now note, if I go to student 10, it will match exactly to the student that it's looking for dynamically. Please note, if you drag this across, it's going to move all of what you did over and mess up the formula. So generally speaking, just copy that formula, paste that formula, all right, and then instead of it being column 3, it's column 4, and then vice versa. I'm going to keep going 5, and I'm going to keep going 6, and you can see that it is automatically looking up exactly what it is for that student in this sheet that I'm looking for. And I will go ahead and finish this really quickly, and I'm just control Ving here, which is a better way of doing that. Here we go. And that was, okay, that needed to be 10. All right, so that's 10, and let's do paste, and let's make that 11 and 12. All right, almost done. And then finally 13. All right, so that's how you can easily create a drop-down list that matches the scores for each kid. And note, I can do this. Now this isn't just for a grade book. I'm using this as a demo just to show you what is possible with sheets. Now we want a graph. So if I want to graph this data, all I got to do is left-click and highlight everything I want it to graph, go up to my toolbar and insert chart. Again, you can always go to insert chart, however you want to do it. I'm going to insert a chart, and it's going to go ahead and bring up the chart. All right, so now I've got a chart that's auto built for me. Now I can do some customizations with this chart. So one, I can double click where it says the actual select student. I can go to customize, and I believe you can actually change that label. So first thing I want to do is take a look at my chart type, and bar graph seems appropriate, but you do have other types. This won't work because it's not a pie chart. I can change the type of bar chart that I'm using. We're going to stay with this bar chart. All right, now customizing. So the style, this is where I can come in and change the background. So if I want my chart to kind of have a little bit of contrast there, I can change it. Again, I can change the font of my chart, and then you can make it 3D. So whatever is up to you. And then line color. We're not using a line across it, so we should be fine with that. Now going down to chart axis, and title. This is where I can come in and say this is an individual student report. All right, so now it puts the title up there for me. And again, this is where you can change center justify, right justify. If you want to edit where your title goes, change the title, change the color of the title. It's doing it auto. Series, I can add data labels to all my bars. So it's going to add labels. And notice that my graph is from 100 to 70. I'm going to show you how you can change that as well in the customizable features here. Now going down to legend. This is just telling you where the legend is on the chart. So if you don't want it on the right, you can put it on the left. If you want it on the top, if you want it on the bottom, depending on how you're doing your chart, maybe that gives you better functionality. Going down horizontal axis, this is just going to be the font there. So for example, we make it yellow. You can see right here it says select student. And then auto label, we're good. So now going down to vertical axis, this is where we're going to get to what I was talking about with the custom chart size. So right now it's auto done it from 70 to 100. That doesn't look right because to somebody looking at it, it looks like that's a 0, even though I have my data label there. So I can go and say I want the minimum value to be 0 and I want the maximum value to be 100. And now you can see that it brought those bars up and it shows them at 70, and you can see we're 0 to 100 in our graph. So you have lots of ways to edit your chart, and you can easily do that under the Customize menu. The data lets you kind of remove things. So if I don't necessarily want to look at this one, I can remove it and take that out if I only want to look at a certain number. Let me undo that and add 11 back. Okay, so now if I take my chart and click and move it, I can drag across, make it bigger this way so it's easier to read, and bring it down. And now what I can do is come over to student 1 and go student 10. And now you can see I have a custom chart for each student that's showing me how they're performing on the assessments. So this combined many skills, and it showcased how you can edit your chart and how you can build a customized chart for your spreadsheet. I hope this was helpful, and thank you so much for watching.